Hey, welcome. So in this video, we're continuing on talking about logic and Boolean logic in particular, things that return true or false. So we saw comparison operators. Hopefully that was straightforward. Now we're going to take it up a little bit and learn how to actually combine these together, chain them in different ways, using what are called logical operators. So these are also tools that we can throw into any if or elif statement, but they work slightly differently in that they actually connect other comparison operators together. So they basically help us make more complex logical statements. So I'm going to just show them to you first and name them. So we have and, or, and not. Those are the three. And we'll start off by talking about and. The idea here is that there are two sides to an and. There's the left and the right, or the first and the second component. In order for this whole thing to be considered true, both the left and the right have to be true. So in this example, A and B aren't actually defined. This is just a shorthand. But whatever goes here, it could be x less than 5 and x greater than 20. Both things would have to be true. Obviously, that's impossible. But maybe it could be is name equal to Charlie and last name equal to Brown, then print whatever, you're a good man, Charlie Brown. So let's try it out here. So the example we'll use is of movie tickets. You're going to a theater. At least in the US, infants usually get in for free up until, let's say up until 2 years. And then from 2 until 10 years old, there's a child price ticket. So let's say that we want to write a conditional that checks if somebody's age is between 2 and 8. So we could do that. We know how to do things. Well, first let's make a variable called age and we'll set it equal to 6. And we know how to do, is age greater than 2? That gives us true. And we also could do is age less than 8? That's also true. And, those could be greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, if we want to include 2 and 8. But to chain them together, we can do this. So we do age greater than 2 and age less than 8. Now, what do we expect to happen? Remember, both sides have to be true. This part is true, we already saw. This part is true, so the whole thing is true. However, if one of these was not true, so let's say age now, instead of being greater than 2, has to be greater than 6. Whoops, I lost that. And less than 8. Remember that age is currently 6, so 6 is not greater than 6. This is false, which makes the whole thing false. It spoils the entire pie, as you can see. Okay, so that's and we could use that to do something like, put that in a statement. Let's do that now. I'll recall the last line, and we'll just add a really quick if age is greater than 2 and age is less than 8. We'll do print you pay child price. It's not quite English, but there we go. Hit enter. And because age is 6, it triggers you pay child price. Okay, next operator we'll talk about is or. So or is similar in that there's a left and right side, an A and the B, but only one has to be true for the whole thing to be considered true. So let me show you an example of that. And to do this, I'll make a little demo. Let's do touch or.py. Okay, and in this file, I'm just going to ask for input first. So I'm going to say city equals input, where do you live? And we're going to check if a person lives in California. So if they say they live in San Francisco or they live in Los Angeles, then we're going to print, hey, you live in California. So we could check easily, is city equal to Los Angeles? And I'm not going to worry about capitalization. I'm going to assume everything is lowercase. And we could also check easily, is city equal to San Francisco? And what we want to do is write a single statement that just says, if city is Los Angeles or city is San Francisco, let's add an if now. If that's the case, we'll say print, you live in California. And then let's add an else that just says print you live somewhere else. Now, of course, this doesn't account for all the thousands of other cities in California, but it's just a simple example. So again, only one side has to be true. Let's test it out. So we're going to run Python 3, if I can spell it, or.py. Where do you live? Let's type, let's do New York first. You live somewhere else. Great. But now let's do San Francisco. And what did I do? Did I spell it wrong over here? Oh my gosh. Well, that undermines my entire video. Let's try that again. Now we can do San Francisco. And it says you live in California. I can do the same thing, but say Los Angeles. And it says you live in California. So that's or. Only one side has to be true for the whole thing to be considered true. So just a quick example with numbers, we could do something silly like 1 is less than 3 or 1 equals 99. What does this evaluate to? Well, 1 is less than 3, that's true. So we already know the entire thing is considered true because there's an or. So it doesn't matter what's on the right side, but just, for practice, the right side is completely wrong. 1 is not equal to 99. So this side is false. This side is true. True or false. Because the or, one side only needs to be true, so the whole thing is true. All right, so this video grew a bit with some of the examples. I'm going to end it here and put logical not in its own video right after this. So we covered and or. Hopefully you're clear on what the difference between the two is. If not, we'll get a lot more practice with them. Okay, see you in the next video.